Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for, I don't know what we're doing, the week of the 15th or something like that, right? Well, I don't know, it'll be in the title, but you have this first quarter moon in Gemini. It says, speak your world into being, and I do think it's an amazing time to kind of use your powers of manifestation. And, you know, there's been a lot of stuff coming up in the readings that has kind of been talking about the story that you tell yourself about yourself. And, you know, part of me believes that this is because of Uranus and Taurus. We have Uranus and Taurus until 2026, and, you know, it has a lot to do with your values. And basically, if you're doing something that you don't want to do in your life, then you're not living your values. And so it's super important that during Uranus and Taurus, but even after Uranus and Taurus, that we kind of continue to make moves in our life that bring more value to us, but also to other people because of Pluto and Aquarius. And we don't have to do anything for other people other than be a shining light, be an example, be a living example of like the values that you talk about, right? Doesn't matter what your values are as long as you're living those values. But again, during Uranus and Taurus, it's going to be super important. As I always say to people, when a planet leaves a sign, we are not done learning the lessons. The planet has gone through the sign. We will be learning those lessons for the rest of our lives. I mean, it's like, you know, when the planet is in the sign, that's when you're learning the lessons, really. After it leaves a sign, the planet is like, okay, did you like learn what I taught you? Are you gonna, you know, fix things? Or are you gonna keep living life the same way, right? So with a big planet like Uranus, it's super important, I believe, that we live our values. We see this right here, which is interesting. I'll show you here first. You have the Page of Cups to the Page of Swords to the Seven of Cups. Page of Cups could be love, of course. We do see a little love here, but to me, the Page of Cups is really like a dream. He has this fish that I'll show you in his cup right here, and that fish could represent something that he is dreaming about. I say could because we don't actually know. We don't actually know if that fish is real or fake. Seven of Cups, we don't actually know if these things are real or fake. We just have to make one of those things happen. We have to bring that down to earth, like our dreams, you know, something that we want for our life, whatever. And again, Page of Swords is kind of like the how. Page of Swords is the true detective in the tarot. He really looks into things. If we look here, the Page of Swords is looking over to the Six of Pentacles. And really, if you don't know how to do something to kind of like bring your dreams into reality or to live your dream life, Six of Pentacles is all about planting seeds. It is the card of, you know, investment, basically, putting a little bit of energy into something. And he's holding the scale right here. And the scale kind of represents cause and effect. It's like if you put energy into something, what do you get back from the energy that you're putting into something? Do you get something back? Are you getting your value out of it or not? And I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer that question yourself. You have the Emperor here. I don't know. You've had an Aries all up in your business, so it wouldn't really surprise me if there was an Aries that was interested in you. It could be a Leo as well. Take it how it resonates. It could be any sign. You literally have pretty much everything here. So it could be any sign, but I would say it's definitely like a boss-like person, and it doesn't matter what gender either. It could just be a real boss that you're attracting here with the Emperor energy. And, you know, I kind of have like Energizer Bunny popping into my head as well. So, you know, it kind of strikes me that probably something that will stand out to you about this person is like, I feel like they don't run out of energy. They probably, you know, they probably just work and work and work, or, you know, something like that. I'm not saying they're a workaholic, but I do kind of get that vibe here. We even have this toil and labor card here in the Kipper. That toil and labor card is kind of like, you know, a workaholic type of energy, right? With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Wands. All these pages, you know, multiple pages like this is a new beginning. We also have two aces, which is a definite new beginning. So, you know, I feel for a lot of you, I'm not so sure it's a new beginning. I feel like it's more of a, it's like, I feel like you're kind of just like blending into your dream life. It's like, are you going to, you know, I feel like you're kind of working towards something that is the Seven of Cups, you know, some sort of big dream that you have or goal that you have. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this is what everybody's challenge is right now, is feeling like you don't have the resources to do something. You know, it's really important as well right now that we kind of realize that we just have to be resourceful. We aren't going to have the resources that we think we need. You know, it's like, even if you have $1 billion in the bank account, as I've been saying to everyone, it's like you still might feel like you don't have the resources necessary to, you know, move or start a business or do whatever you want to do, right? And so the Five of Pentacles, with this Page of Swords is like, how can you do it anyway? Again, the Page of Swords, he asks a lot of questions. He is like a detective. He really tries to find, a way when even if there seems to be no way to do what he wants to do. With the Emperor, you have the Queen of Wands. Yes, definitely, I feel like there's a fire sign person who is very attracted to you. If it's not a fire sign, I would say it's a very fiery person. Someone who's very bold, confident, assertive. Like I said, Energizer Bunny type of energy here is what I get. Very motivated, doesn't stop working type of energy. So, that could definitely be who you're attracting. I really feel Aries or Leo. So, probably an Aries or a Leo that's coming in for you. I feel like they're very focused as well. Their focus doesn't break is what I'm getting. Queen of Wands, she normally has a sunflower in her hands, and the sunflowers point towards the sun. That is the whole point of the sunflower in the tarot. The sun being something that, whoever I'm reading for, or whoever this person is, the sunflower is pointing towards the sun, which is their joy or happiness. Like, literally, are you kidding? This whole entire top row here is moving towards your joy and happiness. The sun, joy and happiness. The Ace of Wands, something that you just desire. The Ten of Cups, joy and happiness. It's like you can't make this stuff up here, Libra. So you have this, next you have this snake card. It says desire and attraction. You have this key. It says lock, unlock. It's like you're trying to decide. For some of you, this is showing up in the unexpected, by the way. So if there is a person who's coming in for you, you could be just deciding whether or not you want to open up to a person. I feel like you will. You literally end with the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands. So, pretty much this is definitely love coming in for you if you want it. If it's not love, I feel like this is a commitment to the dream. Like I said, I feel that some of you could be committing to something that makes you happy with that Ten of Cups. Again, the Ten of Cups to me, I've been talking about this for like 2 years now, right? That we are living in two different worlds. We literally had Mars retrograde in Gemini, by the way. Pretty much everything that we've seen in the world over the past 3 years has been two worlds. When you think about it, again, not making a political statement here, but mask, no mask, right? It's like there are people who are wearing masks and there are people who are against it. I'm not making a value judgment here. I'm just showing you astrology in the real world. So if you're going to come at me, if you're one of those people that's wearing a mask in your picture and you're going to come at me, I'm just going to ban you right away because it's like, I don't know, like really? Number one. Number two, what I would say here is that, again, it just proves mask, no mask, two different worlds, right? And it's like there are a million examples of like two different worlds. We have a choice, which is the only point that I try to get across to people. And it doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what makes you happy, right? Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups says, those people are standing in the real world. They still have to deal with all the problems and issues of the world, but they're focusing on those 10 cups. They are choosing what to focus on. And I feel like this whole entire reading is really focusing on that for you here, Libra. It's really saying that what's going to be most important for you is the direction of your focus, which I feel like I say every single time. But also, like literally, Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. Six of Swords is focusing forward, cutting out the past, moving straight forward towards the future, right? I feel like there is a lot of happiness clearly coming in for you. Like something is going to make you very happy, at this time. This card, Ten of Cups, Four of Wands is a celebration, so it doesn't matter if this is love or otherwise. I feel like there's just a ton of happiness and joy coming into your life. And also the sunflowers here. We are in a time where we really have to follow our desires. Again, the only thing that can guide us is kind of like what our desires are telling us to do, or, like the direction of our desires. So I would move in the direction of your desires with the Sun card. You have the Page of Swords here. Page of Swords, again, is about being like a detective. I would also encourage like childlike energy here, Libra, and I'll tell you why. Because of these three cards right here, Ten of Cups, Sun, and the Page of Swords. The Sun, this is your inner child right here. Page of Swords could be your inner child, and then two children here on the Ten of Cups. Again, we're not going to, gone are the days where you can like force something to happen. Gone are the days where you can, not be creative and, things like that. So I think any childlike ideas you have would be really good. You also have the Ten of Wands. Again, I think we're going to see a lot of this in the world, just in general. People who are stuck on the old way of doing things and they're just going to things are going to be a lot harder. It's like, we're already seeing this with, it doesn't matter how you feel about it, but it's like, if you look at AI, for example, it's already, speeding things up. It's already making things faster. Again, you can stay stuck in the old world or you can learn about the new world. And I encourage people, regardless of how you feel about it, right? it's like I don't necessarily think a world run by robots is a good idea, but I also see the benefits of learning about it, right? And using it to my advantage. So, I would encourage you to do the same thing here, Libra. And, you could be having a lot of thoughts about this. But again, I'm not even just saying this is AI. It could be any other change that's going on in the world. But I would also encourage you to kind of like look at everything you do in work or business and like say, am I doing it the most efficient way possible? Or, is there a better way I could do what I'm doing right now, right? And that's what I would be focusing on. With the Sun, you have the Strength card. Definitely could be a Leo coming in for you as well. I feel like you've been very patient at this time. So, I do feel like something you've been waiting for could be kind of coming in for you. Especially, I would say, if you've been like trying to... I say this to you every reading. I'm pretty sure. I always get this feeling for you, Libra, that you've been like trying to get a job, but it's different. Like you could say, oh, every single sign is trying to get a job. But it's like, no, it's different for Libra. It's like, I feel like you in particular have been trying to get a job maybe like based off of your degree in college, for example. Or you've been trying to get like a more specific job, It's like I don't think any other sign has had this type of challenge where it's like you're trying to get something more specific and it's been very difficult. Maybe for like the past 3 or 4 years, maybe a little bit longer than 4 years is what's popping into my head. And I feel like you could finally be getting something that you actually like went to school for, or maybe you have a certification or something. It's like you're finally able to use a skill. With the Page of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles here. Yeah, if this is love, I love the King of Pentacles for love because to me, he represents someone who wants something permanent. It could also be someone like an earth sign as well, but again, fire really stands out for obvious reasons in this reading. The other thing I'm getting here is that there's some sort of change in your work, which we already talked about. I mean, you have the sudden wealth card as well, so there could be a turnaround in your finances. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Magician. I literally just said using your tools. The Magician has mastery over all the suits in the tarot, but he has like certain tools in front of him, which are all the suits in the tarot. And, sometimes I feel with the Magician that he could just be saying that you're not using the right tool, which is what I get here with the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands can be overcomplicating something. He's carrying a heavy burden. He's making something maybe 10 times more complicated than it needs to be. So I would ask you, and again, this is just a question, not anything intuitive, but, well, it's kind of intuitive. What I'm feeling here is like, are you making something too complicated? And specifically in work or business, I'm getting, or even if you're retired, it could just have to do with your finances, like something you're doing. It's like, are you trying to use like logic, Ace of Swords, when you should be creative? Or are you being too creative and you're not using enough logic? Are you not using your emotions? Are your emotions, clearly your desires are telling you to do something right here. But the problem with desire is that our desires can tell us to, as I always say, go start a worm farm, or maybe, our desires are like, go start a chicken factory or something like that. And you're just like, how the hell am I going to make a living doing that? But it's like, really, the answer is your desires are guiding you towards more success. Again, I think the problem here is that, I truly believe we're going from competition to co-creation, two totally different energies. So it's like the competitive energy is like, go get a career, drive 4 hours to work both ways every single day and suffer. That's competition. Co-creation is like, oh, I desire to, have a cotton candy factory because I love cotton candy. And it's like, how can I make $1 million doing that? But if there was ever a time where you could probably make $1 million selling cotton candy, it would be right now. So, again, I always encourage people, get started on your crazy ideas because you literally have this sudden wealth card. You have this toil and labor card. It's like, I'm not saying you're not going to be working hard. I always make it a point to say that really, squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I think we have to put a lot of elbow grease into the things that we want to be successful. But what I think is more important is exchange of energy, right? I am definitely against the hustle culture. Like, people, like I love Gary Vee, but at the same time, he's like, work until your face falls off, right? And like just like work, which I think can be very toxic for obvious reasons. But at the same time, it's like if you're working on something that fills you with energy, if you're working on something that is fulfilling to you, then maybe you can, easily work 10 hours a day on whatever it is. Again, obviously balance. But what I would say here is I feel like there could be an increase in your wealth or something coming in for you. You have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Cups here. This is clearly some sort of dream. Again, Seven of Cups exists in the clouds. It doesn't exist on Earth. Sometimes I feel like he just needs to pick one cup. You can see that there are like good things and bad things in those cups. So, I also think that The Seven of Cups kind of represents the what ifs, like what if I start this business selling cotton candy and nobody buys it? But it's like you also see the good things as well, like which are like maybe I really love doing it. You know, it brings a lot of fulfillment. It brings me happiness. So there are like good things and bad things on with everything that you're going to do. There are good things and bad things with everything that you do. You have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords cuts both ways. There are, you know, and the sword is above the mountains. It basically says that, you know, there will always be obstacles and challenges to get the things that you want, but you will always be able to overcome those challenges. That's why the sword is above the mountains. So, you know, again, yes, it's probably not going to be necessarily easy to do the things that you want to do right now or to whatever your desire is telling you to do, but you know, the victory is here. You have the sword right here. The Ace of Swords also represents balance. You are a Libra, but, you know, what I would say is I was getting a very specific, more balanced energy in this reading, specifically in this row. So, you know, make sure that if you're working hard, you're playing hard, and all that other good stuff. The Ace of Swords also says when you become more specific, you will become more successful. So, you know, Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. It says when you kind of, you know, really kind of focus in on like what you want to create in your career, or when you really focus in on the type of love that you want and what you're willing to do to get it, then you are going to be very successful. You know, when you think about it, it's like, you know, I always say, you know, it's like there are doctors make a lot of money. They are very successful. But it's like the doctors who really make a lot of money, who make even more, 10 times more, are the ones that like specialize. It's like, I remember I came from this little town, but we had this guy, he was like a vein doctor. He just specialized in veins, like varicose veins and things like that. And he had like 20 cars, like loaded beyond belief, had a boat and everything, right? And I'm not talking about materialism here, but I'm just saying, it's like being specific is much more valuable than being kind of just general, right? And I kind of get that here with the Ace of Swords, where it's like saying, maybe you're not just only going to not only sell cotton candy, but maybe it's like a special cotton candy with like different flavor, right? Or like a more special flavor, much more specific. Or maybe you're becoming the cotton candy doctor, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But, you know, again, I would be specific. And again, I would also follow your desires. The Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new, so, you know, can represent a new opportunity clearly coming in for you. This is what everybody's dealing with right now is, you know, the death of something old, but also there is this element of cleaning up the trash, basically. There's, you know, probably some things in everybody's life that's being triggered right now because of Pluto going into Aquarius. It's retrograding back into Capricorn soon, and then it's going to move into Aquarius officially next year. So it's like that back and forth transition is probably to remind us like, hey, there are some things that need to be cleaned up, some things that were established, but mostly I kind of feel like it's limiting beliefs based off of our heart. Like our heart is, you know, it's a very heart-based time. So it's like your heart is telling you to do something to be successful. But again, like using cotton candy as the example, if you want to start a cotton candy factory, it could still be triggering some money blocks about like, oh no, I will never make enough money. Or kids used to call me stupid, or they used to call me cotton candy head because I was so obsessed with cotton candy when I was a kid. So it's like you're being triggered by all these old ideas, all these old beliefs and things like that. So we really have to like leave that stuff in the past and kind of like overcome it. And I definitely feel that feeling. I don't know, this reading's going to dark places, but you know, let's see what happens here, Libra. Also, by the way, not talking about cotton candy, with the Ace of Wands, I do feel there could be love coming in for you, and you have the Four of Wands, which is marriage. So you have the Four of Wands twice here. If you're attracting a person, again, you know, looks like a very solid connection to me. Could be, you know, something that's really fulfilling that leads to marriage. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Again, you have the Page of Swords right next to the Ace of Swords, and then you have them together. So, you know, this is definitely a very, very much like a deep dive type of energy, very much an energy of, you know, looking deeply into things, researching things that you are interested in would be an amazing time. I'm doing this video, my watch is dead, so I don't even know what today is, the 11th. So we have a few more days of the retrograde. Really, we have the shadow until about like the 21st, 22nd-ish, somewhere around there. So, you know, you have a few, maybe like a week or so, where I think it would be, not that it would be bad after this time, but again, I would like use this time to research things you're interested in. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Six of Swords. We have the Six of Swords twice, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords can represent a sacrifice. The sacrifice that the Six of Swords people are making is they are leaving everything behind. They are completely moving on to like a new beginning. They're completely moving on to calmer shores. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like there could be some things that you're releasing, like I said, but these could be like money blocks or, things that people said to you when you were younger that kind of hold you back, right? And so I feel a lot of you could be leaving those things behind. I see here, this kind of gives me the vibes of, breaking generational curses. I don't personally believe in curses necessarily, but it's like, if you think about it, there are things that were probably passed down to you from your parents, like certain limiting beliefs or certain, ideas about the world or whatever the case may be. And I feel like a lot of you could be kind of like trying to break free from those things here. Next, you have this card that says Liminal on it. This is from the Threads of Fate Empyrean Oracle here, and this deck is awesome. It's like animated. Full disclosure, I have a full business relationship with Threads of Fate, but and you should probably know that, but they are launching 3 new decks. This video isn't sponsored, but again, I am, I have a business relationship with them. I just think their new decks are awesome, and they're almost fully funded, so definitely check that out. It's a Kickstarter, and you can check those out down below. But again, I feel like you're getting out of this like liminal phase. I almost feel like you've been in purgatory for like a while. It's just like you've been preparing for something, some sort of change you want to make, but you also haven't been really making, you haven't been seeing the progress is what I feel here to get to that other side, right? To get through purgatory, if that makes sense. And that's kind of the feeling I get here. This row here represents the good stuff, and it looks really good. You have the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Wands, and the 6 of Swords. The 10 of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. It kind of represents good things happening after a difficult period of time. So I feel like you're making a lot of improvements here with the 10 of Cups. I also feel there's like a lot of reasons for you to celebrate here. So you could be celebrating a lot of things in your life. Like it's kind of weird how normally I just kind of look at this as like one celebration, but it's like I see kind of like multiple things happening for you, if that makes sense, where you could be finding a lot of success or you could be progressing very quickly with this energy. So I definitely feel that here with the 10 of Cups. You have the 4 of Wands, which is a card of like a celebration. So again, more celebration energy, also marriage. It's also a card of freedom. And so it is the card of freedom actually in the tarot. So it's like you could be being set free from, difficulties, challenges, or things that you've been dealing with. I kind of feel that feeling here. I also feel that, again, you have a choice in like which world that you get to live in with this energy. So, I feel like there could be just a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I talk about this all the time, how I feel like there will be a lot of tower moments. But I think there are also going to be a lot of like moments that bring us hope and, just good things. So, that's what I would focus on here. You have the 6 of Swords, moving on to calmer shores. Again, if you're moving on from anything, I feel like this is saying you are clearly making the right decision. But damn, Libra, this is a very good reading. I love it. I think that there's some really good stuff coming in for you. With the 10 of Cups, you have the 9 of Pentacles. I do feel like saying your days of being single are over. That's literally the words that are popping into my head. Obviously, if you don't want love, that's fine. But, if you do want love, I do feel that some of you are kind of going from clearly single to very much taken. I feel like this is like, you could be meeting a person where you're kind of like, I want this person to take me. It feels very different to me here, Libra. It's like, sometimes you date a person and you're like, I'm not going to make this Facebook official yet. I don't know if I want this person to, own me. I feel like this person, you're like, tattoo their name on my forehead. I don't know, that's what's popping into my head. I wouldn't recommend you do that. I'm just saying, that's what's popping into my head. If you don't want love, and even if you do, again, just like another sign that you could be increasing your finances significantly. With that 4 of Wands, you have the 2 of Swords here. It's like no more settling. 2 of Swords sometimes gives me those vibes of like settling or, like choosing to settle. And I feel like this is saying like you don't have to settle anymore. You can have and create the life that you want, and which is what this reading is all about. And that's exactly what I would do with the 2 of Swords. With the 6 of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is probably communication coming in for you. Again, specifically in work going this direction. And again, specifically if your story is the story that I gave, which was like you're waiting or you've been waiting like 4 years to get something, or, it could be a little bit less, then I feel like this could be like approval or communication coming in like in that area of life. So that looks amazing to me, Libra. This whole reading does really. We're going to pull 5 main themes now, Libra. You have this fan card. It says romance, celebration, party. Literally, I used like 2 of those words in this reading. So clearly there's romance and partying, celebrations. You have this pale card. It says time to get out of a situation. Yeah, I mean, anything, again, we see a lot of this, like, out with the old, in with the new, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, 6 of Swords. These are cards of, like, really moving towards a new situation. So I wouldn't wait. I keep encouraging people as well. I think that with Pluto and Aquarius, there will be a lot of writing on the wall. The truth cannot hide with Pluto and Aquarius. So it's like, there will be a lot of truths that are exposed, but the other truths that will be exposed are like, it's like if you're wondering, should I stay at my job or not? It's like there should be, like, I think it's obvious, but sometimes things that are obvious we ignore because we're just like, oh, that's too obvious. Like maybe your boss gets arrested with like 200 pounds of heroin in his trunk, and maybe you're like, I wonder if I should probably leave this job, right? But maybe you're like, no, that's too obvious. He just had a bad day. It's like, no, that was a warning. Get your ass out, right? So pay attention to the warnings, right? That are obvious, but probably for good reason. You have this haystack. It says, karma, you will reap what you have sown. Yeah, I feel like there's 6 of Pentacles is direct results. You put energy into something. What do you get out? Pay attention to that. You have this bird flying. It says, news is on the way. We saw that. Sun, Ace of Swords, 6 of Swords, Knight of Swords. Definitely some good news coming in for you. And then finally, you have this December card and this misunderstandings card. I feel like maybe in like last December, you had misunderstandings. And you could be actually cleaning those up, at this time right here. So this is one heck of a reading, Libra. Love it. Really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.